Today, we're exploring the mystical world of Celtic monsters and creatures. From beasts to magical beings, these legends will leave you spellbound. Abhartach. The Abhartach is an undead figure from Irish folklore, believed to be one of the earliest inspirations for vampire myths. He is described as a small, deformed man, but his powers are terrifying as he rises from the grave to drink the blood of the living. The story of the Abhartach comes from the rural areas of Ireland, where he was once a chieftain known for his cruelty. After his death, he repeatedly returned from the grave, demanding blood from his people, until finally he was subdued using iron stakes and buried upside down. His role as a blood-drinking revenant aligns him with later vampire legends, making him one of the darkest figures in Celtic folklore. Púca. The Púca is a notorious shapeshifter from Irish and Welsh folklore, known for its chaotic, unpredictable nature. It can take on many forms, often appearing as a black horse, a goat, or even a human, though always with some unsettling feature, like glowing eyes or fur. The Púca is thought to have originated from older pagan beliefs, possibly linked to harvest festivals, where the boundary between the human world and the supernatural thins. It is both a trickster and a protector, depending on its mood. While it can lead people astray, causing them to get lost or spooked, some tales speak of the Púca offering guidance or protecting crops. Kelpie. The Kelpie is a dangerous water spirit from Scottish folklore, most commonly associated with rivers and lochs. It usually takes the form of a majestic black horse, but sometimes it appears as a human, often trying to lure people onto its back or into the water. Once the victim is on the Kelpie's back, they are dragged beneath the water to drown, their souls claimed by the creature. The Kelpie myth likely arose from ancient fears of the power and mystery of water. Its role is that of a predator, a symbol of the unpredictable and often treacherous nature of the lakes and rivers that the Celtic people lived near. Dullahan. The Dullahan, a figure from Irish folklore, is a terrifying harbinger of death, often described as a headless rider on a black horse. He is usually depicted carrying his own head, which has a gruesome, distorted grin and glowing eyes that scan the landscape. The Dullahan's origins lie in ancient Celtic death deities, and he is believed to act as a collector of souls. When he stops riding, a death will soon follow, and those who see him are at risk of having their eyes gouged out with his whip made of a human spine. Dullahan's role is clear. He is a grim reaper-like figure, a spectral being who ushers souls into the afterlife, inspiring fear wherever he rides. The Banshee. In Irish and Scottish folklore, the Banshee is a female spirit whose mournful wail foretells the imminent death of a family member. She is typically depicted as a ghostly woman, sometimes old and withered, other times young and ethereal, draped in a flowing white or grey cloak. The Banshee is often connected to ancient Irish noble families, such as the O'Neills or O'Connors, and her origins trace back to the Keeners, women who would lament and wail at funerals. These Keeners were sometimes believed to have connections to the other world. The role of the Banshee is not to cause death, but rather to serve as a messenger, warning of an impending tragedy, with her cries echoing through the night as a harbinger of loss. Bodach. The Bodach, found in Scottish Highland folklore, is a household spirit known for its mischief. Typically depicted as an old, wizened man, it would enter homes through chimneys, often to scare or tease children. The Bodach, sometimes called Old Man, was believed to have originated as a manifestation of ancestral spirits or nature beings tied to the home. Its role often varied, though mischievous, it wasn't inherently malevolent. The spirit could cause general chaos, like hiding objects or making strange noises, but it especially delighted in frightening misbehaving children, ensuring they followed the rules of the household. Cluaireachán. The Cluaireachán, a lesser-known cousin of the leprechaun, is part of Irish folklore and shares many of the same traits of mischief and trickery. They are depicted as small, jolly men with rosy cheeks, often dressed in shabby or wine-stained clothing, reflecting their love of drink. Unlike their gold-hoarding counterparts, Clurichauns are notorious for raiding wine cellars and causing havoc while inebriated. Legends say that they were once leprechauns who indulged too much in alcohol. Their role is to create chaos, particularly by ruining food stores and spilling precious drink, making them a nuisance to families or tavern owners. Línean Sidhe. The Línean Sidhe is a muse-like figure in Irish folklore, known for inspiring artists while slowly draining their life force. She is depicted as an ethereal, enchanting woman, often dressed in flowing garments, whose beauty is said to be irresistible to those she chooses. The legend of the Línean Sidhe arises from the Celtic belief in fairies as both benevolent and dangerous. Artists who became infatuated with her would create brilliant works, but their health would decline as the Línean Sidhe fed on their vitality. Her role is that of a vampiric muse, offering both inspiration and destruction to those who fall under her spell. The Leprechaun. The leprechaun, part of Irish folklore, is known for his cunning and elusive nature. Typically depicted as a small, old man dressed in a green coat and hat, sometimes carrying a cobbler's hammer, this mischievous fairy is said to hoard gold at the end of a rainbow. The leprechaun legend likely arose from the broader category of Irish fairies. Their role often involves playing tricks on those who cross their path, especially humans who try to capture them. If caught, a leprechaun is believed to grant 3 wishes in exchange for his freedom, but beware. His tricks can twist these wishes into misfortune. Slua. In both Irish and Scottish traditions, the Slua are a group of malevolent spirits who fly in from the west, seeking out souls of the dying. They are often depicted as a swirling mass of dark, shadowy figures, with ragged wings and gaunt, skeletal faces. These spirits are thought to be the souls of the damned, those who were so wicked in life that they were not accepted into the afterlife. The Slua's origins may be linked to older beliefs about soul-hunting deities or the wild hunt. Their role is that of soul stealers who hover around deathbeds, attempting to snatch the soul before it can pass on peacefully. Merrow. Merrows are the sea creatures of Irish folklore, akin to mermaids. They are typically depicted as human from the waist up and fish-like below, with greenish skin, webbed hands, and often wearing a magical red cap, which allows them to live underwater. Legends of Merrows likely stem from the seafaring culture of the Irish people, with tales of these sea folk luring humans into the ocean or forming relationships with them. Their role can be either benign or treacherous, depending on the tale, with some Merrows saving sailors, while others drown them or drag them beneath the waves. Selkie. The Selkie, found in the folklore of Scotland's Orkney and Shetland Islands, is a creature of duality, living both in the sea and on land. In its natural state, the Selkie is a seal, but it has the ability to shed its skin and transform into a beautiful human. Legends of Selkies are tied to the seafaring culture of the islands, with stories of fishermen falling in love with Selkies and hiding their skins to keep them on land. However, the role of the Selkie is often tragic. Many Selkies long to return to the sea, and when they find their hidden skins, they abandon their human lovers and children to reclaim their true nature as sea creatures. Glaistig. The Glaistig, found in Scottish Highland lore, is a creature of duality, being both a guardian and a threat. She is depicted as a beautiful woman from the waist up, but her lower half is that of a goat, often hidden beneath a long, flowing dress. The Glaistig is said to have once been a mortal woman cursed to become a part of the fairy realm. Her role varies. In some tales, she is a protector of cattle and the household, offering blessings. However, in other stories, she lures men into secluded areas, only to drain their blood. This dual nature makes her a complex figure, embodying both nurturing and dangerous aspects of the natural world. Caoireann. Caoireann is a figure from Irish myth, often considered the mother of demons and evil spirits. She is depicted as a fearsome, shadowy being, sometimes with serpentine or dragon-like features, whose offspring spread chaos and destruction. The legend of Caoireann is closely linked to the warrior hero Fionn mac Cumhaill, who supposedly battled her on the island of Lough Derg. Caoireann's origins may be tied to older fertility and death goddesses, representing the untamed, destructive side of nature. Her role as the progenitor of evil beings casts her as a matriarch of monsters, whose children plague both the mortal and supernatural worlds. Gwyllgi. The Gwyllgi, from Welsh folklore, is a spectral black dog associated with death and misfortune. This ghostly creature is depicted as a large, black hound with fiery red eyes and a terrifying growl, often seen prowling along desolate roads at night. The Gwyllgi is part of a broader Celtic tradition of black dog apparitions, seen as omens of death or disaster. Some stories suggest that if one crosses paths with the Gwyllgi, it foretells a violent or tragic end. The creature's role is that of a death harbinger, similar to the banshee, but in the form of a spectral guardian of the underworld, often stalking those doomed to die. Echuis. The Echuis, from Scottish folklore, is one of the most fearsome water spirits, often confused with the Kelpie, but far more deadly. It is typically depicted as a sleek, black horse, but can also take the form of a man or a giant, sleek stallion. The Echuis lures victims by appearing as a tame horse, enticing people to ride it. Once mounted, the creature rushes into the nearest body of water, dragging its rider beneath to drown and then devour them, leaving only the liver behind. Its role is that of a predator, representing the lethal, untamed power of the waters around Scotland, especially the lochs. Balor of the Evil Eye. Balor, a giant from Irish mythology, is one of the most fearsome figures among the Fomorians, a race of supernatural beings. He is described as a towering giant with a single destructive eye in the middle of his forehead, which, when opened, could kill entire armies with a fiery gaze. Balor's legend is tied to the conflict between the Fomorians and the Tuatha Dé Danann. His eye was said to hold such terrible power that it could only be opened by others, making him a weapon of mass destruction. His role is that of a tyrannical king and an embodiment of chaos, destruction, and doom in Irish myth. Cú Chíoth. The Cú Chíoth, a large, spectral fairy hound from Scottish Highland folklore, is closely associated with death. It is often depicted as a massive, green-coated dog, larger than a wolf, with glowing eyes and an eerie, silent approach. The Cú Chíoth is thought to be a harbinger of death, similar to the Gwyllgi or banshee, appearing when someone is about to die. The creature was believed to carry the souls of the dead to the afterlife, acting as a guide or collector for the fairy realm. Its role was feared yet respected, representing a bridge between life and death, and between the mortal world and the other world. Nuchal Avi. The Nuchal Avi, from Orcadian folklore, is one of the most horrific and grotesque creatures in Celtic myth. It is depicted as a monstrous hybrid of horse and human, with the horse's body fused to a rider-like figure on its back, both skinless and oozing, with exposed muscles and sinew. The Nuchal Avi's origins likely come from the fears of the sea and disease, as it was said to bring plague and famine whenever it came ashore. It could cause crops to fail and livestock to die, making it a symbol of destruction and malevolence. Its role was that of a harbinger of death and decay, especially in coastal communities that feared the wrath of this monstrous sea dweller.